Hopefully we can all see that. Perfect. Perfect. Get to the content. Get right away. Deflection is a term that formally was recognized in 2022. March of 2022, the Office of National Drug Control Policy and the White House created the Model Deflection Act, where they defined deflection as a collaborative response by communities to work collectively together in the space we're in. Substance use, community needs, problems identified by the community. How do we work together? Deflection. But go back to 2017, deflection was really a new word, and it came to how we work collectively together, what it means in respect to working with frontline organizations like police, fire, EMS, and community partners. How do we partner together to move people from away from the justice system? So deflection, I think, is about collaboration and coordination of services, and it meant a lot to me as a former police chief and builder of a quick response team in my community to see someone of the ilk of the CDC say effective synchronized programs to prevent drug overdoses will require the coordination of law enforcement, first responders, mental health, substance use providers, public health, and community partners. I found this quote somewhere back in 2015, 2016, and it gave us credibility. It gave us credibility to talk about, hey, we should be working together. We should be sitting at the same table. We should be listening to each other, asking each other questions, and figuring out how can we work together to serve the members of our community. That is something in a lot of places, in a lot of communities, it's not something that we do every day. So this conversation around deflection, collaboration is relatively young. I think I heard last year in DC, it was presented to us that this conversation around deflection is about 7 years old. So what does that mean? It means we're about in second grade. It means if we're in second grade, we still have a lot of learning to do. And that's exactly why we're here today. That's exactly why we started this Deflection Echo through Neomed, is we want to learn and grow together. So let's take each other's experience, perspective, and understanding and grow the field collectively and do what's best for each other in our service. So what I want to explain is deflection. This was a slide that a friend of mine put together. She's a prosecutor from New Jersey, and they work their deflection services through the prosecutor's office in this county in New Jersey. And I asked her if I could. Her name is Melissa, and I asked her, Melissa, can I borrow that slide, because I think it helps tell a different story about what we do when it talks about deflection. We don't want to wait on these things. We don't want to wait on an overdose. We don't want to wait on an arrest. We don't want to wait on a situation or a crisis. We want to be actively engaged with our community because we are community. We are collaborating. We're talking with folks we never talked with before. We're partnering across different lines and different experiences to say, how can we inject ourselves? How can we be part of a solution before there is a crisis, before there is an arrest, before there is an overdose, or a situation that has a lot of bad things attached to it? That's what we want to get ahead of. We want to be ahead of, be in front of, and not wait for someone. We're not reactive. We're not waiting for the bell to ring. We're not waiting for the 911 call to come in. We want to be proactively engaging with our partners to figure out how we engage with our community. I'm going to let all these slides go through because it paints a picture. This is that trajectory of the justice system. The front end is those police, first responders, the call through 911, the traffic stop on the side of the road. You call for help, we engage with you. We see, oh my gosh, what's the action we want to take? Previously, before this conversation around deflection, our only actions, and I could tell you as spending 30 years in the space, oftentimes we felt like, well, the court can help us find resources for this person, this individual, because we never were taught that we could look elsewhere or that we knew of partners within the community that would want to work with us. What the changing conversation is, we're yellow. We now have relationships with green. We don't have to include the justice system as our only option for how do we connect people to the services and the help that they might need. Now we can enter a situation or a call for service that's totally unrelated to addiction or substance use or whatever we feel like we need the help. We now say, you know what? I know I can call Nan. She can be helpful. She's a partner. I'll pick up the phone and I'll call her. I don't have to hope and rely on a justice system that most likely is not prepared nor set up to provide the services and connections that we need. We build community partnerships, we build relationships. We want to be on that front end and allow that process to work because we call it problem solving. And problem solving in our world of law enforcement are situations or circumstances that are two or more in nature, that are similar, and there's an expectation from the community that we will do something about that, meaning, oh my goodness, two or more overdose incidents, two or more crimes, two or more deaths, two or more, this crisis jumped right out and said, it's a problem. We have to work. And problem solving within the law enforcement community is about collaboration and being quiet and listening to the experts help educate us on how we can work collectively together with them. What do you need from me to make something work differently than what we did before? We understand that if we solve the problem, guess what happens? People return to they return to good lives. They're all the things that people equate with crime, all the things that are concerned about. We're moving folks away because we're moving towards recovery. So that's what we want to do. We want to deflection. We want to deflect back to the community, to the services, to the capabilities to give people the help and the services that they might need. So that is the big change. We don't want to move people through the blue arrow. To do that, we talk about deflection. We also talk about the term pathways. Pathways are something we never talked about prior to 2017. That's where the folks sat around and said, we need to define so we can build credibility within the conversations for your communities. What are you doing? Well, the national folks said we want to create pathways so we could, when you talk about it or write it in your grants or whatever, you're talking about pathways that are recognized by folks that sit in those positions of budgetary or staffing or whatever. It makes sense. We give credibility to the conversation. And you have self-referral. That's a pathway. Individual initiates contact. They are often referred to as angel or safe station initiatives. You walk in the front door, I need help. We make those connections. We provide you the assistance to get where you needed to go to. Active outreach, that means we are working, understanding, and actively engaging with our community to know, why are we waiting for an overdose? Let's proactively engage with people that we know are vulnerable and let's get them connected. Naloxone Plus, that's around where the active outreach and the QRT initiatives start, is that we proactively engage, reach out, you get in a vehicle, work collectively together, make connections with folks that have recently overdosed or they're in that vulnerable space. Well, hey, we're here for you. We walk up to the front door and say, we want to connect you to the help that you might seek. What do you need today? How can we be helpful? Build that relationship and make those connections. First responder prevention referral is initiate treatment or service engagement through a call for service, meaning Life Squad comes to your house for a twisted ankle, and in the conversation, they recognize that you might need some help or assistance. They can make a referral back to one of the teams, back to the outreach and engagement services, and we can get you connected because we know the partner to connect you with. Officer intervention means that we go to a situation where instead of an arrest, we hold the charges in abeyance and connect you with the services and hold that in lieu of your connection to treatment. And then community response is where the community works singularly and they work conducting the outreach, conducting the follow-up, conducting the engagement, the connection to service, minus a public safety partner. So those are the 6 pathways. The 6th pathway of community response was recognized formally in March of 2022 as the 6th pathway. So if you're ever asked that question about how many pathways, the correct answer is 6. So that is a quick overview of deflection and pre-arrest diversion. Our focus is on deflection. Our focus is about connecting people to the right services, to the right partners, prior to an engagement with the justice system, and not utilizing the justice system as the end all be all, the answer that we used for so many years. We're now working with good people, good partners to provide the connections and services that we just didn't do it before 10 years ago. So again, I want to thank you for the opportunity to share with you guys today and share the didactic. And I think all that information is available and on the Echo page, so you can get the content. So it's there for you. So this, if anybody has any questions, happy to answer, but otherwise we can move forward. So